Hi, my name is Lori Smith. I am the town manager of Kennebunkport. We're here today on Tuesday, March 31st, to give you an update on community actions regarding the COVID-19 virus. On Monday evening last night, March 30th, the Board of Selectmen met in joint session with the Goose Rocks Beach Advisory Committee to discuss a possible closure of the beach. After much deliberation and public input, both boards supported an emergency order, which states, "The town manager, in consultation with the chair of the Board of Selectmen, shall be responsible for adopting orders and rules governing use of and access to Goose Rocks Beach to preserve the safety, health, and welfare of its citizens, including but not limited to the following: adoption of an order closing all or a portion of Goose Rocks Beach and any rights-of-way that provide access to the beach to members of the public. Adoption of traffic and parking rules in the vicinity of Goose Rocks Beach, including but not limited to rules limiting or restricting the number and location of parking spaces designated for access to the beach, rules governing beach permit parking, and rules prohibiting or restricting the movement of vehicles in areas of the vicinity of the beach, and adoption of an order or rules deemed necessary to protect life and property and to preserve critical resources on and in the vicinity of the Goose Rocks Beach during the state of emergency. These emergency regulations and the orders and rules adopted hereunder shall remain in effect until the termination of the state of emergency by the Governor of Maine, unless further extended by express adoption of an ordinance or law." So, Goose Rocks Beach is currently open to the public, but it is being monitored daily to ensure social distancing rules are adhered to in order to protect public health. The public is strongly encouraged to maintain a distance of 6 feet from any people who are not immediately in your household. Use the beach for walking and running rather than forms of recreation, which encourages people to congregate. And if the area is congested, people should leave the area immediately. In order to mitigate large gatherings of people at the beach, especially as the weather continues to warm up, we will be reducing the number of parking spaces effective today and tomorrow. These will include parking along Dyke Road, New Biddeford Road, and approximately 25 spaces along Kings Highway. We will continue to monitor the situation and make adjustments as needed. Besides Goose Rocks Beach, the town is also monitoring other locations where public gatherings can take place. Those include Dock Square, Colony Beach, Cape Porpoise Pier, our parks, and our trail system. The same rules for social distancing should take place at all these locations. Maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from any people who are not immediately in your household. Use the area for walking and running rather than forms of recreation, which encourages congregation of people. And if the area is congested, people should leave the area immediately. The public's ability to adhere to these rules will allow for their continued use. Every day I hear from people who are so thankful for a few minutes outside each day to breathe fresh air and escape the constant news. It is important that we all work together to keep each other safe and sane during these challenging times. Please know that we monitor all these areas daily and will take additional measures as necessary in each space. Next, I would like to address another issue that people are contacting me about daily, which is the additional population we are seeing in town. People are very concerned about the number of out-of-state license plates they see, whether in their neighborhood, at the beach, or in the grocery store. People have asked me to close the borders to the town, require people to identify themselves, isolate, and ban or restrict vacation rentals. I understand why people are so concerned about the influx of additional people this time of year. I also get contacted from people with out-of-state license plates explaining that they live here, they just happen to have a car with a plate from out of state, they're caring for someone in their family, and that they are self-isolating. To those who are coming here from out of state, you are not escaping the virus, it is here. Community transmission has been proven in York and Cumberland County and is now considered to have happened in 3 other counties. So everyone needs to take care to not spread the virus. As I said last week, we have seen an increase in the return of seasonal residents, which is unusual for this time of year. We are asking that all residents, again, whether you are year-round or whether you are seasonal, adhere closely to the CDC guidelines. This includes eliminating an unnecessary travel from your schedule, whether that is in town or out of state. That all citizens adhere to social distancing. That means not gathering in groups. It means maintaining a distance of 6 feet or more between people. And if you have been traveling out of state, out of the country, or you're just not feeling very well, we are asking that you stay home and self-isolate for at least 14 days. These measures are meant to flatten the curve, stop the spread of the virus, and allow our healthcare system to not exceed its capacity to care for those in need. Citizens are also contacting me about restricting short-term rentals and invoking a stay-at-home order. They see communities in southern Maine take these measures and want to know why Kennebunkport is not taking similar actions. Each city and town have their own governmental structure. Some are city councils. Some are more directed by ordinance or charter, and some are town meeting form. Each one of these grant authority to their elected bodies in different forms. Kennebunkport is a town meeting form of government. This means that the voters are our legislative body, and for the most part are the ones who create ordinances or legislative action. Please know that just because Portland or another community takes certain measures, it doesn't mean that Kennebunkport can act in that same way. The Kennebunkport selectmen are working each day to provide protections and actions within their authorities to diminish the spread of COVID-19. The state of Maine election process and statutes govern the town meeting authority. Even though virtual meetings and conference calls are now allowed for selectmen meetings, this technology is not allowed for the town meeting process. We continue to work with the governor, our legislative delegation, and our attorney on methods which will enable us to take necessary actions. I also have gotten a number of questions about what businesses should be open. On March 24th, Governor Janet Mills issued an executive order mandating that all non-essential public-facing businesses in Maine, such as gyms, hair salons, theaters, casinos, shopping malls, and others, close their physical workplaces and facilities to workers, customers, and the public effective March 25th through April 8th. According to her order, this does not include essential businesses. Those include food processing, agriculture, industry, manufacturing, construction, trash collection, grocery and household goods, including convenience stores, home repair and hardware and auto repair, pharmacy and other medical facilities, biomedical and healthcare, child care, post offices and shipping outlets, insurance, banks, gas stations, laundromats, veterinary clinics and animal feed and supply stores, shipping stores, public transportation, and hotel and commercial lodging. According to the governor's orders, those are all essential businesses. Businesses should continue to abide by this order and continue to work with the state of Maine and the CDC if they have additional questions about whether their businesses meet this criteria. At this point, I would like to turn it over to Allison Kennebunkport, our Public Health Director, for her update.
Good afternoon. I'm Allison Kennebunkport, Director of Public Health in Kennebunkport, and I hope you're all doing okay as we continue to stay at home to flatten the curve. And just to remind everyone that we must continue to social isolate ourselves for the benefit of limiting the spread of COVID-19 and to help lessen the demand on the healthcare systems. We must continue to listen to what the Maine CDC recommends, along with our governor. Cooperation from everyone is key. We are all in this together, and the sooner we all cooperate, the sooner we'll be through this. It is a very difficult time for people. Everyone's lives have been turned upside down in some way or another. Anxiety and depression are on the rise, as is fear of the unknown. It's very emotionally draining on us all. It's very important to stay connected while staying separated. Reach out to your family, friends, and neighbors by phone, Skype, email. This is very important, and it's what we can do right now during this pandemic time. Remember, knowledge is power. Listen to the reliable sources of COVID-19. I highly recommend checking the Maine CDC for current, correct information on the situation. Get your emotional support system in check by maintaining familiar routines at home as much as possible. Whether it's working from home or homeschooling with children, a daily routine is very helpful. Stay connected with others via phone, email, and social media. Be supportive to others. Assisting others in their time of need can benefit the person receiving support as well as the helper. Eat healthy meals and exercise regularly and get plenty of rest. Get out and get fresh air and sunshine, but just remember to maintain social distancing. Avoid watching and reading or listening to news reports that cause you to feel anxious or distressed. A near constant stream of news reports can cause anyone to feel anxious or distressed. Instead, seek out the CDC updates at specific times during the day and turn on some music instead. With questions and concerns or feeling overwhelmed, reach out to 211 or the crisis hotline at 1-888-568-1112. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's free and confidential. And now I just want to review some signs and symptoms of the COVID-19 again, just to refresh. Fever, cough, shortness of breath, sore throat in some patients. Symptoms may appear from 2 to 14 days after exposure, and it's spread through air droplets from cough, sneezing, and breathing, from close contact with someone who is positive for COVID-19, or touching surfaces where droplets have landed. How to prevent the spread? Wash your hands, often with soap and water, for at least 20 seconds, or use alcohol-based sanitizer. For dry hands from washing so much, use some lotion after washing. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Stay at home while you're sick and avoid close contact with others. If you develop symptoms, please call your physician first before you go anywhere. Do not report to the emergency department unless told by your family physician. Currently this week, from Monday till Friday, the Public Health Office is having a personal protective equipment drive, otherwise known PPE. We're hoping to collect some PPE for the police, fire, and chem services. There's a shortage of this nationwide, and we're just asking if there's any extra in our community, if there's any in our community available, we could use it for our first responders. There is a collection bin on the porch of the Public Health Office to drop off donations. Thank you. And currently, as far as food insecurities, currently Community Outreach Services continues to provide families in need with food boxes and that are requested through the town's General Assistance Office. Please call 967-4401 to request food for residents of Kennebunkport. Community Outreach Services also continues to provide the Friday morning food pantry, which is a drive-up and pick-up on Friday morning starting at 9 a.m. and continues until they run out of food. This is also for families in need, and you do not need to call in advance to the General Assistance Office. There's another change to this Friday morning pantry, though, the location. The location of the pantry is now moved to the Vinegar Hill Music Theater in Arundel. So Friday mornings, it will be the first time at this location. There will be many volunteers present to assist you. And again, be patient with the volunteers and everyone at COS as they work through the changes to best provide food relief for these families. We have an abundance of volunteers looking to help in the community, anything that needs to be done. I can't thank everyone enough for all of your willingness to help. We've had so many volunteers that we've appointed a Kennebunkport volunteer coordinator. This gives me a one phone call to the coordinator with requests, and then he assigns the volunteer to a task. Having said that, if there's any seniors in our community that are in need of food and are capable of paying for it themselves, but do not wish to go to the market for fear of exposure, please call me at 967-4401, and I can make arrangements for someone to shop for you. Also, Bradbury's is offering food delivery to Kennebunkport residents. With an email to Christine@bradburybrothers.com, you can leave a message of your shopping list and make sure you leave a phone number for her to call back, and they can make arrangements for a home delivery. It's also all on their Facebook page at Bradbury Market's Facebook page. If you have any other requests, call me and we'll see what we can do. Don't risk exposure if you're a high-risk community member. We have many people willing to help. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kennebunkport, Chief of Police, Craig Sanford. An update with emergency services. Everyone is fully functional and responding to calls as needed. You folks are doing a very good job about requesting emergency services only when really needed. That's much appreciated. And as Ally said about the PPE, you might be wondering what that is. We're looking for N95 masks, surgical masks, surgical gowns, Tyvek suits, plastic face shields, rubber gloves. All of those would be very helpful because, nobody really plans for a pandemic and stocks the way they should, because when was the last time we had a pandemic? So it's a shortage throughout the community of EMS workers, emergency services all over the country. So we're all looking for the same thing. Suppliers are out, so it's very tough. So anything that you could find and donate would much be appreciated. As far as changes that you will see with the parking, everybody's got a thought and an idea. We're going to do the best we can. We've got to be careful to try to limit volume. So when you see those signs, please abide by them. It's very important. And also, we're getting stretched thin, as the town manager said, that we have a lot to monitor and check on. So I would ask that you make sure that you're following dog ordinances and you're walking on sidewalks where one's provided. We're seeing a lot of people walking in the street. Maine law requires that you use a sidewalk if there's one provided. So please, out of safety and respect, use that sidewalk and then just give people their space when needed. So our piping plovers, that changes April 1st, and we'll have the west end restricted area that will come into play. We have heard that some plovers are down at Goose Rocks Beach, so remember that you have to stay at least 200 feet away from those, no matter where they are. So pay special attention and ensure that you are not getting yourself or your animal in trouble. Again, make sure that you're calling the dispatch center for good questions. We're getting folks that will call the dispatch center that will ask who are the folks that are that may be infected with COVID-19. We don't know, and we couldn't tell you if we did know. That's not for public information. We're hoping that we will at least get some of that information. Something will change for emergency responders, but right now that's not something that we can give out or we would give out. So again, make sure that you're calling for good reasons, and we'll make sure that we're there.
Thank you, Allison and Chief Sanford. These are busy times for town staff, and I really want to take a moment to thank my town staff for all the extra work they're doing. Although it appears to the public like we are closed down, and certainly we have closed off from public interactions where we can, times are busier than ever behind those doors. The amount of contacts that we get on a daily basis and trying to keep up with them and keep informing people, get communication ourselves, and ensuring our staff are keeping up with all the law changes and needs of our staff as well as our community is a bit overwhelming at times. So certainly keep that in mind as you reach out. Lastly, I also want to acknowledge that there's a lot of information out there about COVID-19 virus. Some of it is factual and some is circulating like folklore. I would ask everyone to check the facts before sending along additional information to friends and family. Besides the Center for Disease Control and the National Institute of Health, one source that I have found beneficial over the past couple of weeks is Dr. Dora Ann Mills, who is the Chief Health Improvement Officer for Maine Health, as well as the sister to Governor Mills. About every other day, she writes a COVID-19 update, which is both personal and educational. She is on Facebook, and you can read them there. You notice the Sun Journal recently had one of her updates printed. Her daughter also reads them through a podcast on Podbean, which is a free podcasting platform. We will link that on the town's website so that other people can get those updates. Lastly, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for doing a great job and for helping us. We do see that everybody is really making efforts, And these are very trying times, and it will be going on for a while longer, so we appreciate your patience. We, the selectmen, are very grateful for all your efforts and your understanding and your desire to keep our community safe. I hope that you are all maintaining good physical and mental health. Be well.